proud privilege to invite Professor Deepankar Choudhary, Editor-in-Chief, Indian Geotechnical Journal, Dr. Anil Joseph, Honorable President IGS, Dr. A.P. Singh, Honorable Secretary IGS, and Ms. Sonal Choudhury, Publisher Springer Nature, to enlighten us about the Indian Geotechnical Journal, a flagship publication that has significantly contributed to advancing in geotechnical research and professional practice in India, and we request you to please take the dais. Now I hand over to Professor Deepankar Choudhary to carry forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Namaskar. Good afternoon, everyone. Now in this session, we will be giving a glimpse of annual report, what we call, for our flagship journal of Indian Geotechnical Journal, which is published by Springer Nature and in association with our Indian Geotechnical Society, IGS. So this presentation is actually jointly prepared by Ms. Sonal Choudhury, who is our publishing editor of Springer, and myself as editor-in-chief currently for this journal. I thank our President, Honorable Dr. Anil Joseph ji, and also our Honorary Secretary, Dr. A.P. Singh ji, for the support from the IGS Executive Committee, what we get for the journal for the growth. So to highlight about Indian Geotechnical Journal, as most of you may be knowing, that since 1971, this journal is getting published. So already the journal completed now 55 years of its glorious years, and thanks to all previous editor-in-chief of this journal, because of their hard work along with their editorial board members since 1971, the journal is what it is today. And since 2012, the journal has been published by Springer Nature. Again, that happened during when Professor G.L. Shivkumar Babu was the editor-in-chief of this journal, then Professor Madhavilata, and since 3 years or so, I'm handling the editor-in-chief of this journal. You know that currently this journal is published bi-monthly, that means 6 issues per year. But because of the recent extensive growth for the journal, which I will be showing in subsequent slides now, we are going forward from next year, that is January 2026 onwards, it will be a monthly journal. That will be 12 issues per year, which is getting published from coming month, that is January 2026. Coming to the impact factor of the journal started getting its impact factor first time in 2022, and since last 3 years we are maintaining the impact factor 1.4, whereas our 5-year impact factor as per Web of Science Clarivate data, we are improving. The first year it was 1.4, then 2023 it was 1.5, and last year it improved to 1.6. So, which is a steady, though a small improvement, but it is improving because of the efforts given by all of you. All of you means those who are contributing as an author, as a reviewer, as editorial board, or the entire Springer and IGS community. And we accept special issue invitation for this Indian Geotechnical Journal through proper evaluation by the committee as well as the Springer office. And it is published in hybrid mode. You know, both we have option for open access of the papers you can opt for, or subscription-based model. Open access, there is a what we call APC charges has to be paid. Sometimes many countries are already included in that. They need not to pay. For example, UK, Norway, these are the countries where APC charge is already there. Also, our India government, you know, very recently, just last September 2025, came up with the idea, one nation, one journal policy, and from the PSA office, some of the journals, this APC charges will be taken care of. So this is a big boost for the country, India. So many of the institute or organizations who can afford or who can automatically get this open access, because open access always give your paper more visibility, more citations, and also for the journal. And subscription-based model is that where you need not to pay anything, but it will be only limited to those who subscribe to this journal. They only can see this. Each issue of the journal has an editor's choice. That is the very first paper is called editor's choice, which is free for everyone for 45 days as per our understanding with Springer office. However, all our Indian Geotechnical Society members, they can download or view all the articles anytime. So this is one of the advantage being life member of Indian Geotechnical Society or life fellow of Indian Geotechnical Society. So those of you who are student member or want to become member of life member of Indian Geotechnical Society, please be member, because this is, we always ask what are the benefits we are going to get to become a member. This is one of the major benefits you get. You get access to all papers of the journal if you are IGS member. Another information what we try to always mention, that bookmark this journal so that whenever the new alert comes, whenever the new issue comes, subscribe to this alert. It is free, of course. You can just put your email ID in the journal website, go there. You will get, whenever new issue comes, an alert, and automatically you can see what are the papers coming in that issue. And I'm very happy to inform you that since the starting of our journal, as I said in 1971, actually this is older than me, the June 2025 issue is the thickest issue of the journal so far in the history of Indian Geotechnical Journal we have. Thickest means it had 52 articles in one issue. That is because our number of submissions, number of acceptance is increased exponentially. I will show the data in subsequent slide. So I request all of you to publish your best quality research paper, because our rejection rate is pretty high, as similar to any topmost journal across the world. We are really happy to inform that Springer Nature has considered our journal, Indian Geotechnical Journal, for the Growth Impact Award 2025. And myself and Dr. A.P. Singh, we both, on behalf of all of you, on behalf of our society, we have received this journal during the annual journal symposium, which happened on 30th of October this year at Le Méridien at New Delhi. So you can read what are the growth parameters of this journal in recent past, why Springer Nature has selected our journal for this award. All the details I have put in the editorial, which just got published last week. Online it is available, you can access that. You can see all the matrices, the data, how the growth means, and what are the things we have given over there. There are special issues we publish, and I would like to inform here, currently in this month of December 2025, one of the major special issue came up, that is women in geotechnical engineering. Thanks to the guest editors, Professor Shobha Bhatia and Professor Madhavi Lata, who actually championed this, and several leading women geotechnical engineer across academia, industry, research organization from both abroad as well as India. They have given their quality papers, and this is available to you. This also 45 days available to all the anybody actually, and members can download anytime. The currently special issue, which is the portal is open, like this IGC, always we have a special issue, IGC keynote and theme lecture. along with our 10th Young Geotechnical Engineering Conference, which already happened. So these two will be clubbed together, and Professor Agnihotri, our IGC 2025 conference chairman, is the lead guest editor. He is handling this special issue, and all our keynote speakers like Robert Kine and everyone is submitting over there. You can see their paper coming up very soon in that. But I have a request over here. Please do not propose special issue if you cannot motivate or bring or generate at least 50 to 60 different scholarly articles to get submit. Why it is so, I will tell you. The journal matrices says you cannot reduce the number of articles just like that. Then it shows the, instead of growth, the degradation of the journal. So that's why typically we consider 20 as a minimum, bare minimum numbers to be published in a particular issue of a journal. So to get 20, as per our present acceptance rate, after rigorous review, it is typically within 30% is our acceptance rate. So you can easily understand, to get 20 accepted papers, you need to have submissions of about 50 to 60 quality papers for the journal, and after review, 2/3 of that get rejected, 1/3 only gets published. So that's why if you are coming up with any special issue, this is most welcome, but at the same time, you have to be careful that you can generate or motivate so many authors to submit their paper. Because the reason being why we are going from bi-monthly journal to monthly journal, you can see currently in my kitty, that is editor-in-chief lineup, I have 270 accepted papers. Those are available online already. Those are online published. But I am not able to assign them the issue because our number of issues are limited to 6 issues per year. That's why with discussion with committee and society, we are now increasing it to monthly journal. So this is one major growth of the journal, jumping from bi-monthly to monthly. These are some of the statistics or data I would love to share with all of you, the growth of this journal, as this data has been shared by Springer. So they take out all this data for number of submissions over the years for our journal. You see, in the year 2020, it was something around close to 387 or so, and till date, this data is 3 days old, because just before coming for this conference, Ms. Sonal and her Springer team, they have extracted the data. So this data is on, as of 17th of December, we already received 1,027. You see, already there is a 3-fold increase in the last 5 years, the number of submission itself for the journal, which is huge. Also, the number of publications, the accepted papers, in 2020, it was just 63 in the entire year. And whereas till date, the online, this published means online published, in this year itself already 301, and today, tomorrow, even few more are getting online published. So this number will match, I'm hoping, close to maybe 310 or so. So you see here also about 6 times increase has happened for the journal, even number of accepted or published papers, which is excellent growth for the journal. Again, thanks to all our authors, reviewers, editorial board. This is another important aspect. What the journal matrix, impact factor, etc. depends on is the number of downloads. How many times downloads happening for your papers and your journal? So you see, in 2020, number of downloads were close to about, you can say, 40,000, which in recent past has increased. Till November data is available here, Springer has shared with us. This year it has crossed 1 lakh, close to 70,000. You see how many fold? It is more than 4 folds actually. So these are enormous growth, and that is why Springer Nature found our journal. It is not that only our journal, there are many other Springer journal. As you know, Springer publishes huge number of journals under various themes and categories. So our journal was selected for this Growth Impact Award. Another important aspect for the journal growth is turnaround time, and we always try to minimize the turnaround time. And you see, submission to first decision in 2020, it used to take almost 1 month, just the first decision. That we have reduced it to less than 10 days. Now it is 8.4 days, the average. So that even I want to be lower, because why first decision should be so many days should take. But I'm still not happy as EiC presently. The turnaround time from that submission to after all the process of several rounds of review, the publication date, so that earlier was about 190 days and recently it is 172 days. Here we still have to work. And that's why please forgive me if I sometimes you may feel I'm nagging behind all the associate editor or editorial board member. I send them the WhatsApp, please process the paper, please process the paper. This is the reason. And this hampers many a times the journal growth. Please actually make sure that you are processing the journal paper as handling editor, as associate editor, as editorial board as fast as you can through the reviewers. This is the data, another important data for the acceptance rate, rejection rate, and the withdrawal rate for our journal in percentage. So you see, we are maintaining the quality. Our number of publication increase, our number of submission increase doesn't mean that we are compromising with quality, because people may think that, oh, so many papers are now coming up, maybe quality has been compromised. No, never. You see, our acceptance rate is always less than 30%. And at present, it is about 27%. So over the years, we never compromised the journal quality, the paper quality, and again, thanks to the rigorous review process and our editorial board for that. So that's why the rejection rate close to a little higher than 60%, and there is a few portion of the withdrawal rate. Withdrawal happens because of many reasons, like high level of similarity, or author themselves want to withdraw. There may be several reasons for withdrawal. This is just another statistics which Springer has shared, like geographic diversity of the authors. You see, as this is Indian Geotechnical Journal, so mostly from India and Central Asia, major submissions happens, and also the China and surrounding region, we get another major submissions, and accepted manuscript author geographic diversity you can see over here. Coming to impact factor, I already mentioned 2022 onwards, our journal is getting impact factor 1.4. We are maintaining that, but our 5-year impact factor is slowly improving, which will affect our individual year impact factor in long run soon. Our immediacy index, another parameter, is improving over the year. You can see the data. It is all these data are available from Clarivate. You all can see, those who are having access to Clarivate Web of Science. Total citations also increasing enormously over the years. This is major contribution. There are several countries who contribute to our journal, so it is really an international journal. Though the name is Indian Geotechnical Journal, but we actually accept papers across the globe. We actually encourage authors across the globe to submit to our journal. Obviously, you see the Clarivate data says that India maximum paper came from, followed by China mainland, followed by Iran, then US, then Egypt, then Brazil, then Canada, and like that. So this is the data from Clarivate once again. Next is the citing data. That is our journal, how many times getting cited by other journal, other international journal, reputed journal. So these data fairly shows that our journal is accepted or cited by most of the world leading journals in our domain, which is a very good sign. So this is one good thing. But next data is not that great. What is this data? Cited data. Cited data is that when our authors in Indian Geotechnical Journal are publishing in our journal, which journal paper they cite. If they cite our own journal, Indian Geotechnical Journal, which is the major chunk, you see that major portion, this is not that great for the journal. So here I will request all of you, those who are contributing or writing as an author, please do not self-cite much until and unless it is very essential. Not only self-cite your paper, but also don't self-cite your Indian Geotechnical Journal paper in Indian Geotechnical Journal. When you are publishing in EiC journal or Geotechnic or other journal, you are very much welcome cite our Indian Geotechnical Journal. But when you are publishing your paper in Indian Geotechnical Journal, do not cite more of our Indian Geotechnical Journal until and unless it is essential. Now, next part onwards, I will request Ms. Sonal Choudhury, our publishing editor of Springer, to take it forward, because this is Springer what wants to give us the message so that we can grow further better for this journal. Over to you.
So thank you very much. As you all know, I'm the publishing editor for the IGTJ journal. I'm the publisher for Mathematics, Physical and Applied Sciences unit of Springer Nature, and currently handling 24 odd journals from India and from the other parts of the world. The next part of this presentation focuses on our strength and our scope of improvement. So as the chief editor has already mentioned how we are growing in terms of submissions, publications, and readability, also on the very important aspect, which is turnaround time. That shows how indulged and how active our editorial board is. But the question comes, are we the first choice of the authors? We want to be in the topmost quartile of Web of Science so that we become the first choice of the author, and the authors really look forward to submit to IGTJ, and it becomes a reputation for them to get accepted in our journal. And for that, we are also putting in all kinds of best of our efforts. We are also focusing on implementing all the best practices from the topmost journals in our journal so that we can acquire the best quality content from all across the world. And for that, we are expanding our editorial board to have more and more international contribution, and also have contribution from all the domains of geotechnical engineering, so that your article, when you submit, gets peer-reviewed by an eminent academician from the same fraternity. We are also very focused on the peer review quality, and for that, we have a ranking system. So whenever a review comes in, the associate editor can give a ranking for the reviewer, and on the basis of that, we always tend to make our reviewer database more and more efficient in terms of having more and more better peer reviewers in the database of the journal. Moving on to the next slide, this talks about the open access. So a little more about open access aspect in India. We know how the funding agencies work over here, how constrained we are in terms of publishing open access, also because of the hefty APCs of the publishers. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but yes, it is a fact. For that, Springer has transformative agreements in all parts of the world. We do have 2 agreements here in India with DAE and MAHE, but there are others in pipeline too. But in the other parts of the world, we have almost covered the complete of Europe and US and also other countries. So any author coming from those parts of the world is covered under the TA agreement, and invariably do not have to pay any APC from their pocket. So if we are expanding our horizon to the international contribution, we expect the journal to grow in terms of open access content as well. We are a hybrid journal, so all the authors who want to submit their articles, they can submit it, and if accepted, the article can be published without any payment in the subscription mode behind the paywall, or if you are funded and if you can pay the APC, it can also be published in open access mode. Oh, okay. Let me just go back to this. Yes. Sorry. So what is next for us? What are we doing to enhance or develop IGTJ further to become the topmost journal in the geotechnical fraternity? We are focusing on increasing our social media activities to provide additional support for increasing submissions and visibility of the journal. And for that, we seek support from all the editors, reviewers, and the authors. So if you are one of the authors of IGTJ, and if your paper gets published, please do not shy away from talking about your paper and mentioning the journal in your social media accounts and dashboards. That is going to add up to our journal also. We also expect more and more review contribution. We prepared this slide especially for the editorial board meeting. So here I have mentioned associate editors, but all of you are invited to submit your review papers to the journal. And Then we are also focusing to have more and more contribution from the target countries. So all the eminent academicians present over here, representing different nations, I would invite all of you to spread the word about our journal and see how we can expand the journal in other parts of the world and how you can support us in enhancing the visibility. Thereafter, we have various other initiatives going on. We have editor's choice article for every issue that is made freely accessible for 6 to 8 weeks. We also invite collections, thematic issues, and special issue proposals on hot topic. Every special issue is made freely accessible for 6 to 8 weeks. So please consider that as well. The next section talks a bit more about how artificial intelligence is playing a role in research publication. So I'll start with how we use it. We obviously at Springer, we use artificial intelligence at many various stages, maybe to filter out the fraudulent submissions, paper mill submissions, to identify bad actors, flagging bad actors in the system. We also have duplicate submission score that is artificial intelligence based, and we also use Authenticate report, which is again artificial intelligence. But there are concerns which are raising in the journal, and those are the plagiarism. We all know about it. Plagiarism is the content overlap that comes and gets identified also through the Authenticate report. But sometimes the authors try to be smart and they use special characters. But we are smarter and we know how to identify that as well. Second is duplicate submission. So we have duplicate submission score embedded along with every submission to identify if the article has been submitted before or not. I'll pick up only the major ones. So we also come across many of the authorship issues, which is a request to change the authorship, addition of an author after the acceptance of the paper, which is entirely a no-no for us. We always go by the core principle, but as per the journal policy, we do not accept any authorship change requests once the article is accepted. So just very quickly, we have AI usage in Springer Nature to identify the generative images, authorship, peer review, everything, and we have various policies, how we deal with all such issues. And generative AI images is a big no-no. We don't allow it. AI as an author is also not allowed. We expect the authors to put in a declaration and use the acknowledgement section to let the readers know if they've used any LLMs or ChatGPT or any AI. Also, the peer reviewers are not allowed to upload the manuscript on any of the AI tools to get the reviewer comments. However, they are allowed to clear their comment and format their comment to make it more legible for the authors. Springer also has certain tools like Journal Finder, which supports the author, and this is an author-oriented service by which the author can find a perfect and appropriate journal for their manuscript by uploading their abstract and certain details of their paper. Also, nature research assistance that helps new authors to structure their scientific paper. And with that, it brings me to the end of the presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you. I will have to announce that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to announce that Indian Geotechnical Journal has been honored with the Springer Impact Growth Award, recognizing its remarkable growth, increasing global visibility, and impactful contribution to geotechnical research. To give away this award, I invite Ms. Sonal Choudhary, publisher Springer Nature, on the stage. And to receive this award, I invite Professor Deepankar Choudhary, Editor-in-Chief, Indian Geotechnical Journal, Dr. Anil Joseph, President, IGS, and Dr. A.P. Singh, Honorable Secretary, IGS. So this prestigious recognition by Springer is a proud moment for the entire Indian geotechnical fraternity. So let us put our hands together to celebrate this wonderful achievement.
Thanks, madam. And as I mentioned, this award is not any individual award. It is all of yours, those who are associated with this Indian Geotechnical Journal, either as an author or as a reviewer or as an editorial board. So I will request the present editorial board of the journal, whoever are present over here, please join us on this dais for a group photo with the editorial board of this journal. Current editorial board members, please join.